Astrology Corner, and this is your June forecast. And I am just so happy to say that in general, we're going to have a wonderful, wonderful month. Is it going to be perfect the whole time through? No, but this is like the best month I've seen in a really long time. And I must say, I really don't have a lot to talk about because there's just such great harmonious energy that you really will just feel like a changed person, like life just suddenly started to shift in the right direction. That we are going to have a full moon in Sagittarius in your 10th house on June 2nd. So this could mean that there's an accumulative issue that's been going on in your work that just suddenly begins to get better. It suddenly begins to turn around. Now, it could also go the other way, and it could mean that, there's some opposition at your work. Maybe you were promised something that they couldn't deliver. Maybe you're revisiting that. Maybe you're looking at everything from a point of view of like, how do I really, really want my life to go? And do I want to stay in this job? You might be having questions like that, or you might be thinking about your purpose on a larger scale. You might be thinking about approaching something new in your life, or maybe finding a new purpose. And maybe that's been a question that you've had for a while, but now it's really, really, really starting to get under your skin, and you might feel that type of energy from this full moon. And that's okay, because Pisces, you guys have been going through a lot. You really, really, truly have been through a great deal, more so than I've seen you guys go through in a while. And I just think that's because Neptune, your ruler, has been squaring off with all these energies. And so anytime there's a square, there's a reality. The veil has been lifted, but it not in a way that you can deal with, so that you've slipped. I feel like, most of the Scorpios the Pisces that I've seen have all kind of slipped into some really unusual circumstances. And in May was just an extremely difficult month for the Pisces. I think you guys felt like you were picked on because Neptune has been in a hardcore placement. And I do want to say in this in this full moon, that Neptune in Pisces is going to be squaring off with the Sun in Gemini and Mars in Gemini and Mercury in Gemini. So anytime it's squaring off that much energy, you especially will feel this because, you're going to go from this rational place of, I want my 10th house. I want to, work hard. I want to achieve more. I have these dreams, hopes, and wishes I want. But then you've got this Neptune energy that's squaring off with with another dual energy. And I just think there's going to be a lot of foggy confusion for you, more so than some of the other signs, just because the dual energies are caught in this square at this particular full moon. On the 5th, Mars in your 4th house, which is in your home and family, is going to be sextiling Jupiter in Leo. I see this as being wonderful because Venus is going to go into Leo this month. And so when it goes into Leo, you're just going to feel like probably like solidifying your home. You're going to be reevaluating how you see yourself as a family unit. You're going to be looking at your household, all the people in your household. And you know what? You're going to want more. You're going to want to settle down. You're going to want to have this ideal picture that you put. And it's not unrealistic. It's not like you have a picture right now that's unrealistic that you could never have. You can actually have it. This is such a benefic month. You could actually just find that you may just want to have it in such a good degree that either somebody can pop the question to you, or you could pop the question, or you could talk about popping the question. It's something that you never thought that you would ever do. I mean, you never thought that you would, go to this level. this energy that goes on this month is a bunch of Aries and or Uranus and Aries energy. It's just anything can go. Things you never thought were going to happen are probably going to happen this month because of all the energy just all over the place, but in a good way, in a really, really fantastic way. On the 8th, we're going to have the Sun in Gemini. It's going to be it's going to be sextiling Jupiter in Leo, and then Mars in Gemini is going to be sextiling Jupiter in Leo. For you, this means that it's going to be in your 4th house. So again, this is going to be about, what are you passionate about? Do you communicate effectively about what you're passionate about? If you do, and you will, because the energy is in a sextile, so you won't, everything that comes out of your mouth, even if it's these impulsive reactions that sometimes you guys do without thinking, it's just going to generate a really good idea. Now, you want to be really careful about what does come out of your mouth, because if you tell somebody, hey, I love you, and I just, I really am thinking about getting married to you, they might hold you to it, because, it's whatever Jupiter touches, it expands. So be very, very careful about being too open about what you're feeling right now, because you're just feeling wonderful and you could have this euphoric state about what's going on. And I think that that's when sometimes the energies pull us back, and Neptune and Pisces, your ruling planet, comes in and says, hey, can you keep your feet on the ground? I'm going to keep you level-headed. There's a lot of energy that's making you, want to be able to go out there and have a really good time. But here's where we're really at. Then on the 10th, we have the Sun in Gemini and Mars in Gemini. It's going to be, of course, still again sextiling Jupiter in Leo. And then Venus in Leo is going to be sextiling Mercury in Gemini. This, to me, this is really going to be a romantic month. It's going to be a lovey month. It's going to be a month of just passion-filled days of like wanting to feel good again and wanting to feel like your old Pisces self. I mean, even though Neptune is still, has its bouts on and off throughout this month, I think for the most part that keeps you somewhat grounded and making progressive ideas for your future. I mean, when all this energy is sitting in your 4th house, that just means that, it has to do, you could decide to move. It's a great time for that. I mean, it's not a good time to sign for contracts and sign contracts or do anything about putting your, anything up for market or anything like that until after the 13th. And that's when Mercury is fully direct and it's fully back up to speed. And then I really endorse, moving forward in that type of energy. But for now, these days that feel like this, you're just going to feel back to your old sparkly self, going out, having a good time, extra lovey, affectionate. Your water energy is just going to be spilling out of you, and it's going to be filling up everybody else. And you know what? You're going to be able to get full off of people's energy. It's not just them taking your energy. It's that you're going to be giving it. Now, on June 11th, Mercury does go direct, and again, I want you guys to give it a couple of days before you really start getting caught up in this energy, because again, the planet Mercury takes time to go back up to speed, so you just want to be aware of that. Neptune goes retrograde the same day that Mercury goes direct. So again, that's just another reason anytime a planet starts to, anytime one planet starts to go this way and the other planet starts to go this way, you can see how that could be confusing energy. It can be just an energy where I just say, don't let it get away with you. I would think I would just avoid making decisions until after the 13th. Then on the 14th, we have the Sun in Gemini and Mars in Gemini, both sextiling, again, Uranus and Aries. And for you, that is going to be, of course, in your 4th house. And so This could be something unexpected that happens at home that actually takes it to the next level, makes it happy, fills you up on the inside. And it's something that you're going to be passionate about. It's something that's going to be a benefic type issue. And it's all lovey. It's all about romance. It's all about creativity is going to be huge this month. If you are an artist and you're not involved with anybody and this doesn't have anything to do with love, then it's going to be about creative endeavors. You are just going to express yourself in such a way that just really, really takes things up a notch and really, really elevates, everything that that you've been wanting to do. It's progression. So anything that Jupiter touches, it expands. So if you are a creative person and you are trying to get ahead through painting or through writing or through any of the wonderful outlets that you would do, the positive outlets, then I say really, really kick in. This is a month to really concentrate on that, because huge, unexpected things can happen out of all of this amazing energy. Then we have on the 14th, I do want to tell you that that Saturn goes from being in Sagittarius and it goes into Scorpio. Goes back into Scorpio. So for you, Scorpio energy is a fellow water sign, and it's so this isn't going to be a difficult issue for you. You're used to this kind of intensity and this emotional depth. The only thing that I want to say is that Saturn's the planet of karma. So at about 2012, in October of 2012, into 13, into 14, like what the ramifications of that, it's like you're going to be revisiting those times. Did you learn what you needed to learn? Was there something that happened during those times that you need to look back on? Is there some sort of karmic debt that you need to pay back? If you don't, if you've worked through it all, you've been a good student, you did all your homework, and now you're turning in, and you just wrote that dissertation paper, then you know what? Saturn's going to be benefic this time around, and so you're going to get all of these blessings, and it's going to be a wonderful energy. If you did not work through all of that stuff, then I'm super sorry to say that you will probably revisit those same issues that you avoided when you were in denial. They're going to be real this month. They're going to be something that you're going to have to face whether you want to or not. There is going to be a new moon on the 16th that's going to be in Gemini. This new moon in Gemini is going to quincunx Saturn in Scorpio. So I want to say that if you're just, if there's that past issue, that karmic issue, or that karmic debt that you need to pay, or if you've paid it and done what you should do, there is going to be an opposition in energy. You're going to remember it. It's not going to feel warm and fuzzy. But you know what? You have a new moon in Gemini. You need to keep your eye on the ball, concentrate on the positive that can come out of that day, and just really, really start to plant seeds in Gemini energy and let it flourish. And, anything having to do with learning, or you plan a little quick travel plan, anything having to do with that stuff is really, really going to make everything so much better. Then on the 21st, it is summer solstice and winter solstice for people in the southern hemisphere. And I do want to say happy Father's Day here in the U.S. because, I could have some daddies out there that need some acknowledgement, and being a daddy is just as important as being a mama. And I completely, completely appreciate the contribution that you do towards your family. 22nd, the energy, I think, starts to take a little turn here for a couple days. But again, this is a benefic month. This is a happy month. So yes, we get a couple days. You can't have the whole entire month just completely perfect. That's not the way that it works. Jupiter in Leo is going to be trining, and Venus in Leo are going to be trining Uranus and Aries. Now, a trine is not a sextile. A sextile is just energy that works harmoniously together. It's like ballet. They want to work together to achieve a certain goal. Whereas trines are just, they're like brothers who just take advantage of each other. You know, they, you know, they just really, really count on each other. But, you know, if everything happens really easy that day, you may not have any initiative to do anything because it's just a good mellow day and there's no need to push forward. So you could get caught in that. And if you do, what you might find is that Venus and Leo starts to quincunx Pluto in your personal power. So you know what? You're going to still want to be pushing yourself always every day for progression, for manifesting the best parts of you, and don't get hung up on some previous, you know, coping skill or something like that, or just being a little bit too merry and having too good a time this month, because you're going to get sucked back down into some reality. And the reason I say that is because Saturn in Scorpio is going to quincunx your sun in Cancer. And so that just means that your core is going to, it's going to be a question, and it's in a really, really sensitive sign, sensitive energy. And so although Cancer and Scorpio energy work really well together, and you work really well with those energies, this quincunx is going to pull you backwards a little bit and make you reevaluate from that point. All in all, I don't think it's going to be terribly, terribly bad for you. Not as bad as some of the people that don't really understand depth and water of energy and how to route it and how to maintain it like you have most of your life. But again, it's just not the best day. And then the 23rd, we just really, honestly, I'm warning everybody about, you just have a really bad day. You know, the moon in Scorpio is going to be squaring off with the sun in Cancer. And this energy is when your sun squares your moon, it just means that your emotional well-being and your core, your ego, yourself, they aren't jiving with each other. Like, you know, maybe one wants to push forward and control the situation, but the other one's saying, you know what, I just want to hide and get away from it. And so there's this turmoil between the two energies to say, you know what, we need to meet in the middle. But, you know, there really is no way to meet in the middle because they're caught in a quincunx. And so it's just a day full of opposition. I will go more into it in the daily energy reading. I'll let you know what I truly deeply feel, especially on my Facebook. I have discussions about them as well. And then the last day to talk about is the 28th, and that's Venus in Leo is going to trine Uranus in Aries. And Jupiter in Leo is going to trine Uranus in Aries. And this is really, really, really good news, guys. Again, a trine is just not as cool to me as a sextile, but it truly is a benefic energy. And anytime that you have Jupiter trining Uranus and Aries and the energy in the universe is really good, it can mean for sudden windfalls, unexpected and innovative ideas. It could mean that a love just comes from nowhere, or that you start to fall more in love with somebody. It's really, really a wonderful, wonderful month. It was easy to talk about. I like months like this. I prefer to never go through the hard months. I know it makes astrology boring, and probably nobody would watch me if we just had nothing but benefic months. But for me, we need this. Pisces especially, I just noticed last month just took a detour and kind of went the opposite direction. And so I'm just so happy to tell you that it's just not that way this month. Have a wonderful and fabulous month, you guys. And I do daily energy readings and horoscopes. So if I don't see you on my dailies, I'll probably see you guys again next month.